Hello, everyone. This is Esther Emmanuel here again, your favorite special need coach. Welcome back to my channel. This is where we talk about our children, especially those with additional needs, with special needs, and how to really help them. All right, just like I said, I'm your favorite special need coach, and today I want us to tackle a question that keeps so many parents awake at night. Trust me, I've received a lot of those questions, and I thought, okay, let's deal with it today. Now, the question is this: the school says my child, isn't ready for grade two, or my child isn't ready for grade three because he's not doing well with his mates. Should he repeat the class? Should they go back to a lower class? Is repeating children even good, especially those with special needs? Yes, we know that they have some level of learning gap. Okay, so because they are not doing well as their peers are, should we repeat them? I'll be right back. Let's deal with this issue. Okay, so in Nigeria, where I am right now, we see this all the time. Okay, I know that you're watching me from different parts of the world, but where I am, it's something that parents have to deal with all of the time. A child with ADHD or a child with autism struggles with sometimes literacy, numeracy, and the school's immediate answer is most times, let's take him a step back. Let's let him repeat the class. He cannot cope in the next class. But today I really want to challenge that. I really do. We need to stop looking at the calendar and start looking at the child. Let's if our focus is on the child, I'm sure that we would have a better perspective, a better approach to how to help this child learn better. Okay. Now if we just repeat the same teaching method, for instance, what is the guarantee that that same child will still not, it's through a school year, right? And then the child had the opportunity to go through that school year, and then there was no improvement. And we want to repeat the same process, thinking that that child will still learn again using the same method. Do you understand? Now, if we don't change our method, if we don't change the way we do things, what's the guarantee that by the time I repeat this child will now cope? Why didn't this child cope before, and now this child will cope now? Do you understand my point? So let's be real. Let's face the truth. I think this is something we really need to deal with. Now, when we make a 10-year-old sit in class of a 7-year-old, we are not just holding them back academically. We are hitting their self-esteem. Because school is not only about learning academics, there are other areas of growth that we also need to consider. There is a social gap as well. Yes, we are looking at learning gap. What about the social gap? Okay, these kids also need to be with their peers. They need to learn, they need to model the behavior of children of their age. They are not supposed to model the behavior of a child that is way younger than their age. All right, there is no lack of challenge. What will challenge a child of 10-year-old in a 7-year-old or 6-year-old class? No challenge at all. If a child is in a lower grade, where is the intellectual stimulation? They might be behind in reading, but their brain is still maturing. I really want us to get that. We risk them becoming bored and frustrated, which leads to more behavioral issue in that class. What about the stigma? In our environment, being the big boy in a small class carries a heavy weight. Trust me. We might feel they don't know or they don't care, but they do care. We want our children to feel capable, not feel broken. This is very important. Now, I know the question you will ask me is, okay, so if they don't repeat, what do we do? Now, here are some things I would recommend. Okay, we use the bridge strategy. And how can we actually make inclusion work in real time? For school, here's what I will say. Be open to accommodation over repetition. Instead of repeating the grade, let's adapt the work. And this is where IEP comes in, the Individual Educational Plan, okay, where you can modify the child's expectation, curriculum, you set goals that are at the child's level presently. Modify your curriculum. For instance, if the class is now learning a complex multiplication, but your student is still mastering addition, they stay in the class, but the work on their specific level during that period. I know it's a little bit of extra work for teachers, but And that's why we always say, even in school right now, the way school, recruits for teachers, we should recruit for special needs consultants, special needs teachers as well. And that's where they come in. They can help in this regard. But it's always important that you modify their curriculum. Use shadow teacher if it's important, or maybe your learning support assistant, your learning support teacher in class. That's where they come in. The goal is to keep the child moving forward, with their age group, while finding the gaps that we want to fill in. It's not about moving the child back. I hope you understand. Now, for teachers, differentiation is key. If you are teaching in 21st century now and you don't know how to differentiate your lesson as well, I think you should just take my training. But differentiation is very, very important. You don't need 20 different lesson plans. You only need one plan, okay, with different entry points. What are your entry points? Use different entry points. How does information come to us? Use those entry points. Okay, one lesson, you don't have to create different lessons because you have different children in your class. No. Do you understand? And if a task, for instance, let me say if a task is to write a story, so the child with a learning difficulty might dictate their story to you, or probably use pictures. But they are still learning the concept of storytelling. It's just that it's not the way you said they should do it, but they are still learning without being punished, without struggle, without the struggle of your handwriting. You must write all of these notes and copy everything. No, okay. Find other ways. Let's move on from this stereotypical way of doing things, please. All right, now for parents, it's very important you have this homeschool collaboration. Parents, you are the expert on your child. You are the expert on your child. Advocate for promotion with support. Yes, promote my child, but let's support. Tell the school, I want my child to move to the next grade, but let's agree on the support that we will be giving my child in the next grade. Okay? Also focus on life skills. Remember, the school is just one part of the child's life. What are the other ways that you can build your child's confidence? Move them to music, sport, technology. Let them explore other things. It's very, very important. I hope this is something that is workable, right? Okay, so I want to hear from you. As your child being asked to repeat a class, how did you undo it? I want to hear your experience. Please share your experience with me at the comment section. Let's learn from each other. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with a teacher or with a parent. See you next time. Bye.